Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to the live. I have not done one of these without a turban and a thoban, so I might feel a little unclothed. I don't feel right. At some point I might just get up and put on my thobe, to be honest. But not yet, you know? How's everybody doing today? Let's double tap that screen, get the likes up. If you hit that like button, get me to 1,000 likes. That way we can pull some people up onto the panel. I do want to get some people up here to address the prompt. This one's a really good one. I feel like there's going to be a lot of takers from especially the Christian side, you know. There's probably going to be a lot of Christians that want to join up and, prove Islam false. So they will have that opportunity. But as of right now, we gotta get those likes up. So double tap that like button, you know. Let's get some more viewers in here. The more you like the live stream, the more viewers we get. That means more people are seeing the dawah. More people are getting in touch with Islam. And we can, get some stuff going. But double tap that screen. Let's get the likes up. This is the prompt for today. If you want, you can start addressing it in the comments. But I would like you to, double tap that screen, get the likes up. That way, we can pull some people up as soon as possible. And the quicker we get people up here, the more fun it'll be. But we need at least 1,000 likes. So that way we can push to more people. Because I do want to get, more viewers. So more likes attracts more viewers. If you want to double tap the likes, that'll be great. I got you with 1K likes. And I appreciate you, Aki. Much love. I love you for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That goes for everybody in here. And honestly, this is just going to be a great prompt to go over, I feel like the Christians are going to love this one. Because I've been kind of poking and prodding at the Christians lately. And I feel a little guilty. I've been going after their faith a lot in a lot of my lives, but I haven't really given them a chance to push back, right? So this time, I'm giving them a chance. They can push back. If they can push back successfully, then there's a little prize in it for them. But let's be honest, trying to prove Islam false, people have been doing that for 1,400 years. They've been failing, but we'll see. I do have high hopes that we'll get good conversations, inshallah. And if we can at least get good conversations, get a lot of people intrigued and watching, that'll be beneficial to everybody involved, So, first person that I'm going to pull up, let's see. Hey, no, I get that 1,000. Yeah, it's actually 1,000, Aki. It says 1,000. But you're right. It's gonna be very hard to get that. To get that reward, you gotta prove Islam is not true. And proving Islam is not true is totally different than asserting it's not true. There's gonna be a lot of people asserting it. I can tell you that much. We're gonna accept our first guest. I've
Yo, what's up,
uh,
bro?
I've interacted with this man a lot before. He likes metaphysics, so this ought to be interesting. How's it going,
Yeah,
buddy?
what's up, bro? How you doing?
I'm doing all right, and you?
I'm doing good.
That's
So
good.
do you wanna debate what we sort of left off, or do you wanna do this topic?
I would love to do this topic because last time I was pushing back on Christianity a lot, and I feel
Yeah,
like the past 3 lives I've pushed on Christianity a lot, and it's kind of been unfair. Like nobody's had a chance to even, take their shot at proving Islam false. So then I gave a nice little prompt for the Christians to prove that Islam is not true. And it kind of gives you like a broad topic where you can choose anything you want to prove Islam is not true. You see what I'm saying? So there's a
yeah.
lot of things you could go over. So it's giving you like a fair shot, giving you a return fire type of thing.
Okay. I think I don't really focus much on attacking Islam, but I think I can come up with something.
Okay,
Okay. I
That's
think I think I
perfect.
got an argument. So, is Allah maximally perfect?
Allah is as perfect as anything has ever been, and He's uncreated. So I would say yes.
Maximally perfect. Okay. So, would you consider love a perfection?
Yes, and I think I know where you're going with this, but I'm gonna let you
Yeah.
run it.
So, would you say that, like, for example, like loving yourself and loving others is going to be like two different things that are two different perfections?
I wouldn't say so.
You would, you said?
No, I wouldn't.
You wouldn't. Okay, so you're saying that, like, let's say you love yourself, but you don't love others. You still have like a general perfection of love and you're not lacking anything?
Exactly. Like if I love myself, right,
Hmm.
to an ability where maybe I never had anybody else, right? Maybe I never had a wife, even though I do, but let's say I didn't. Let's say I didn't have a child, right? Let's say I didn't have
Hmm.
two children. I had nothing to love in life, but I love myself. Then there's still a perfection in it because at least you still have love. But if you had no love whatsoever, then you're lacking something. You see what I'm saying?
I
Because in
s-
order to have love for something else means you had to have something else there. But in order to have love in general, you could just love yourself.
well, okay. So I can agree to that, right? That like loving yourself is going to be a sort of perfection, but
Hmm.
I think I would disagree with you that like loving yourself is going to be I think I would say loving yourself and loving someone else or just others in general is going to be a different perfection as
Okay.
opposed to like so I mean would you say it's not better to like love your wife for example than to just love yourself?
No. I would say love is love. So this is my view. Maybe we're seeing it from different lights. Love is
Mhm.
love in my eyes. The way I love a dog is different from how I love my wife. The way I love myself is different from how I love my dogs. Right? But the
Mhm.
thing is, love is still love. There has to be a compassion element there. You see what I'm saying? And to have
Yeah.
compassion for yourself is already such a strong feature. To have compassion for yourself is essentially the strongest form of love. So when people, I've heard this argument raised before, but when
Mhm.
people raise this argument, right,
Mhm.
and they say, uh, love in general has to be given to something else. That doesn't follow. Because if love has to be given to something else, then it's never an internalized concept. And as you said, self admittedly, it is an internalized concept. When you love yourself, right, this is
Mhm.
showing a form of love. Now
Mhm.
keep in mind, I'm not saying this is the only form of love. That would be a confusion of what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that you're not lacking anything by only having yourself to love.
Mm. Okay. Interesting. Okay. That's fine. Maybe I'll think about that. But okay, let me see if I can. Are you Athari or no?
Who, me?
Yeah.
I'm a Mataradi.
Hmm. What do you guys think about like do you think Allah is composed?
Um, define composed.
Yeah, like parts. You know, like there are parts in God. Like Allah's made out of parts.
No.
No.
I
Okay.
don't believe in partialism.
No, that's not what I mean. So I'm not saying like how the Trinity would be like, you know, like we'd said, like partialism in regards to the Trinity, you know, there's one God, but like the three persons are each a part. I'm just saying like each like okay, you could say like composition would be like if you mix like or like if you like you
Maybe
could say
this will
like
help. Maybe this will help.
yeah.
I
Yeah,
believe
yeah.
all his attributes are
Mhm.
divine, and all his attributes make up the one thing that is Allah.
Mhm.
So
Right.
the one creator that is Allah is made up of all his attributes. All his attributes are unique, but they're not separated from himself.
Right.
Does that make
Okay.
sense?
Yeah, that's fine. I think but I would still say that that sort of fulfills the criteria for like composition, right? Like you, they're distinct. The attributes are distinct from each other, they're distinct from the whole.
Yeah.
Separability is not really a criteria I would give. And then you have but so, and then like they all make up the thing. So you do think that his attributes make him up. They're parts of him that come together in a sense, right? Loosely speaking, because of course you wouldn't say that like the parts were ever separated.
Yeah, I would never say the parts were separated from him. So,
Yeah.
in a way that I could describe it to you, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, you probably, what Neo said, probably you should read up on some of my school of thought scholars and theologians because it's different from what the Ataris hold to.
Yeah.
Um, but that being said, I'm trying to give you like a general gist. I'm not a scholar, I'm a student.
Yeah.
Just like yourself, I'm a student of my teachings, right? I'm not a
Mhm.
scholar. So, we're going over this as students. I don't have all the answers to every question you have, but I could try to sum it up the best I can.
Mhm.
Number one, the main thing I'm saying is whether you want to say composed, not composed, whatever the case may be. Okay. My point is, if we are going over Allah's attributes, his divine attributes were part of him since the beginning. So therefore there's no separation. The separation of parts and the whole would not occur. So the parts are part of the whole.
Okay. So Allah is made up of parts.
No. That's what I'm saying. So instead of parts, think of it as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
As in like the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I know it's hard to conceptualize.
yeah. So I guess I'm just like
This is where
uh,
reading into Akida is very important because there's three different main Akidas, which, to be honest, you should look into two. There's
yeah.
Atari, which is, the biggest, and then there's Mataradi, which is the second biggest. Most Hanafis, which I'm a Hanafi, most Hanafis follow Mataradi school of thought of Akida. So, that being said, there are some Atari Hanafis, but I've not looked into Atari enough to actually give you a consensus, right? But
Yeah.
that being said, it's more of a you have to study into it deeply to get what we're trying to argue about pretty much. Like it's so minimal. It's literally like how do you say it? It's not like when Christians say for instance, I'm a Catholic and I'm a Protestant. Like they disagree completely.
Yeah.
Catholics and Protestants disagree completely. Yeah, in Islam you don't really have that.
Okay.
In
So
Islam, it's more like how do you say it? One thinks something is metaphorical while the other thinks it's literal, right?
yeah.
So how I could say this easily is Ataris hold to a physical body while Mataradis hold to a metaphorical body. Yes, he
Yeah.
has a body of sorts, but we don't know what it is. So as far as we know, everything that was described was metaphorical, right?
Mhm.
This is what our beliefs are.
So
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
I guess I'm just I wonder. Do you mind if I sort of run by you the criteria I would give for something being composite? I just want to see if you agree.
Okay. Walaikum
Because
salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
okay.
I just had
So
to say
yeah.
that to the comments. You're good.
So I don't know these off the top of my head. So I'm gonna click out and sort of read it real.
Yep. Read it. Come back. They can't hear you when you're off the screen, so just come back whenever you're done, and then speak what you need to speak.
Yeah. So the criteria is that the thing, right, in its whole,
Yeah.
is going to have multiple explanatory features.
Okay.
The second thing is that these features are not reducible to one another, right? So you cannot reduce Allah's love to his judgment or something like that. Those are distinct things. His attributes are distinct.
Okay.
And then, and that the thing, right, which would be Allah in this case, is going to be dependent on his attributes coming together. Loosely speaking, of course.
I'm seeing a definition, but I don't think that's the definition I would use.
Okay. So what part of it do you disagree with?
I would disagree with them having to come together in the first place because they always just were.
Yeah. So again, when I say come together, I don't necessarily. That's why I said like in a loose sense.
Yeah,
I don't mean that these things were actually like separated
separated.
and
Yeah.
then come together. That's not what I mean. I'm just saying that like if these things like you
How about this? I'll grant
yeah,
it just so then we can move forward with the
sure.
conversation.
Okay. If that's true, would you not say that Allah fits all that criteria? That these attributes are multiple explanatory features of him that these supposed parts would be or attributes would be distinct from one another and that the being as a whole depends on their conjunction.
State that one more time.
Yeah, would you say? Yeah, you're good. Yeah, so would you say Allah fits all the criteria, as in him as a whole depends on the conjunction of these attributes, that they are multiple explanatory features of him, and that these are really distinct from one another. These attributes, they are not each other.
These attributes are distinct from one another.
Yeah, like they are not like, let's say, I mean, two attributes of Allah. I mean, what would you say? Like love and judgment, right? Those are not each other. Those are different things.
Well, love is not an attribute. It's a how do you say it? It's a thing that he possesses, but it's not necessarily an attribute.
So how would you define attribute?
An attribute? All right, let's go with these two. The most merciful
Yeah.
and master of the day of judgment. Those are attributes.
So what? That's interesting. How would you define an attribute, though?
How I would define an attribute, right?
Hmm.
So how I would define an attribute is something that cannot be separated from the actual thing. For instance, if you ask me about my attributes, right? My
Hmm.
attributes would be, um, you know, my nature as a person. So like the fact that I'm caring, but to
Hmm.
an extent. I'm not all caring, right? But I'm
Yeah.
caring to an extent. I'm merciful, but to an extent. Um, so on and so forth. These things are attributes that are part of me. If you separate them from me, I'm no longer me. Would you agree?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. So this is what an attribute is to me. Something that
Would
is
you?
inseparable from the actual claimant.
So okay. Let me. Does Allah love Himself?
Does Allah love himself? I would probably have to say yes. Allahumma alam, but
Yeah.
and by
So I
the way,
mean,
that means Allah knows best, but
yeah.
I don't know. Allah knows
Yeah.
best.
So I mean, if we say that, I guess I'm just wondering because I think I don't really understand why you would say something like most merciful is an attribute, but not
Yeah.
loving. Because I think you would say something like, I don't know. Do you think God changes or no?
No.
No.
I
Okay. I
I'd
mean,
say that it's not an attribute, and I'll tell you why.
yeah.
It's not an attribute because the 99 names are the attributes revealed to man, right? And those
Oh, okay.
99 names
Yeah.
have certain, entailments. Those entailments are what we would call as attributes. If it's not part of the 99 names, we can only say Allahumma alam.
Yeah.
Allah knows
Is
best.
is one of Allah's names, right? Did, I assume there's at least one name that has to do with loving, being loving.
I guess you could say that. If,
Yeah.
for
So.
instance, one of the 99 names could be alluded to as love, I guess.
Mhm.
But here's
Okay.
the thing: if you're looking at the actual English translation, is different.
Yeah. Okay. What
You
were
can
the
say
attributes you
most
said?
loving, right? You could say most loving, like somebody said in the comments. Most
Yeah.
loving is fine. All loving is false because he
Okay.
doesn't love people who disobey, right?
Yeah. Okay. So, What were the attributes you gave? Again.
The two attributes that I gave as an
Yeah.
example?
Yeah.
So this is actually what I was going over. I was going over the most merciful,
Mhm.
which entails the most, right? Not
Mhm.
all, but the most merciful. And then I
Yeah.
went over, I believe the other one was what was the other one that I said? Oh yeah, the master of the day of judgment. Yeah,
Okay. If those are two attributes, right?
yeah.
That he's the most merciful and he's the master of the day of judgment. Are those two things the same thing?
Those two things are not the same thing, no.
Okay. So we've fulfilled at least one of the criteria, right? And just to make sure, I would say that you need to fulfill all three to be a
Okay.
part, right? So we know that these attributes are at least they're at least distinguished from one. I think you would say that, let's say, if Allah wasn't the most merciful, he actually would not be Allah.
If he wasn't the most merciful,
Yeah, like if Allah wasn't the most merciful, would he be Allah? Like, does Allah need all of his attributes to actually be who he is?
no, of course not. The reason why he is all merciful is, or most merciful, is because he revealed it that way. If he never did, we couldn't even make the claim. So even without the how do you say it? Even without the most merciful part, let's say he never revealed that. Maybe
Mhm,
he was, but he never revealed it, right? Let's
mhm,
say, just for hypothetical purposes, just for me to grant something to you, right?
mhm.
Let's say that it was more like um most caring. That still wouldn't contradict who Allah is. Allah is Allah. His attributes are just what make up the whole. So whether we know about the attribute or not, is it still his attribute?
Sure.
Okay. So that's my point. Whether he was or wasn't most merciful, it would just be a lack of knowledge thing. Like if we didn't know, it would be a lack of knowledge thing. It
Right.
wouldn't actually be a he doesn't have it.
So, okay. But I feel like that doesn't solve the issue, right? So we could say that, like, if he didn't, reveal himself to be the most merciful, we wouldn't know about him not being or being the most merciful, but we could still say now that he's going to have that attribute even if he does not reveal it. So I guess I still think my question would still make sense to say, like, okay, if he didn't have it at all, if you take Allah and then you take away his attribute of being the most merciful, is he actually Allah? Or maybe there's even a different one. Like, would you say one of the attributes is like creator of the universe or something like that?
Creator of all things.
Creator of all things. Right.
Yeah.
So if Allah was not the creator of all things, would he still be Allah?
Of course, he would still be Allah. Even if he, like, let's say, like, pre-creation. Was he still Allah?
I guess you would say so. Yeah.
Yeah. So even pre-creation, Allah was still Allah.
Okay.
So you don't need creation to be Allah. That's not how that works. That would be presupposing that his actual, how do you say it? His creation attribute was a necessary part of him, which a necessary part of him would mean that he can't possibly go without creating. It would mean that he has to, like he's forced to. But who's forcing him? That's my question. Who would
Mhm.
be forcing him? You know? If you can't force Allah to do anything, then the question is,
So, wait, I'm
you
sorry.
see what I'm saying? If you can't
Okay.
force Allah to do anything, then the
Mhm.
question is, how could he lack an attribute? And if he could lack an attribute, how would that prove anything? Because
Okay.
nobody could force him to create, nobody could force him to be merciful, nobody could force him to love. He would still be Allah, whether he had it or not.
Okay. So I think I don't want to get off topic, but I noticed something interesting about what you said. You
Okay,
said before Allah created, was he the creator of all things?
yeah.
It sounds like that you would say he wasn't the creator of all things and then he was, which sounds like a change to me.
No.
No? So
No. Because
how would you define
he still had the preconception. He still already thinking about creation before it was created. Does that make sense?
sure. Okay. So
So whatever was created, right, was created due to the fact that he just wanted to do it. He
yeah,
created us, right, and the universe and everything else. Let's say the heavens, right? The heavens, the earth, everything. He created it for no other reason than he already thought about it and he wanted to do it. Nobody could force him to. Nobody could force him not to, right? The
right.
attribute is there because he is a creator. Meaning, by nature, one of his attributes that he has the ability to do is to create things. It would be like me telling you, go and create a universe. And then you're like, well, I can't. It's not one of my attributes, right? And then I'm
So
like, well, go do it. And you're like, well, I can't. You can't force me to. I can't do it. you know? So
mhm.
the difference is he can do it. And even if you were to tell him to go create again, he doesn't have to. He's still the creator.
Okay, so you would say that one of his attributes, back on topic, right?
Yeah.
Side of this
Back on
thing.
topic. We're good.
Um,
It was a little side tangent.
it was. I just wanted to I just wanted to get that out of the way though, because I'm gonna keep thinking about it if I
Yeah,
don't.
no,
So
you're
okay.
good, man. You're good.
So going back to the topic, would you? So I think you said that the ability to create is going to be an attribute.
So the ability to create goes
Yeah.
in line with the creator of everything.
Okay, but I
Yeah.
mean, you wouldn't say that because I don't. I mean, you could say it goes like it's sort of a parallel in a sense.
Yeah.
But I mean, you wouldn't say that like you would say that Allah sort of wasn't the creator of all things because there was not all things yet, but then he was the creator of all things because he created things. I don't think you would say that he couldn't create all things and then he became able to create all things. Right?
No, what I
He's
would
always
say
had the
is
ability to create all
exactly
things,
what
right?
I said. He's always had this ability.
Right.
Whether or not he created something still does not change the fact that he had the ability to create. You see what
Right.
I'm saying?
Okay. So perfect. So Allah has always had the attribute of being able to create.
Yeah.
So if you took that away, is he still Allah? If you took away his ability to create, is he still Allah?
You can't take it away. It's inseparable from himself.
Right. I'm saying, but like hypothetically, if we were to like if Allah, right, take Allah, if he had no ability to create, is he actually Allah?
I'll tell you why that's a non-plausible statement.
Hmm.
Because without the ability to create, there is no anything. So I couldn't even ask the question if there was no ability to create. The reason why Allah is because He created everything. So to suppose that question is presupposing that Allah is not Allah. So you can't actually ask the question like that, and I'll tell you why. Because that alone, that question, is pretty much saying, well, Allah is not the creator of all things. The reason why it's saying that is because if you were to take away the creation aspect, this is a contradiction. What is Allah's definition? By definition, He is all, and I mean all, of the attributes. So
Hmm.
by definition, if you take away even one of those attributes, you have contradicted the nature of who Allah really is, what Allah really is. So when you're talking about a hypothetical in this manner, the hypothetical is a non sequitur. It's actually non plausible. You can't use this only because of the fact that it would be like me, right? It would be
Hmm.
like me saying, well, if you didn't exist, would you be able to play basketball?
Well, the answer would be no.
No, the answer would be I wouldn't know. Because if you didn't exist, you wouldn't know anything.
I think you sort of affirmed my point in there. In your like response, right? You said him not having the ability to create is a contradiction of what he is, which sort of seems like my point. Like if you were potentially able to take
No,
that
it's the
away,
opposite of your point. Because you
oh,
can't take it away. There is no hypothetical there because it's
right.
impossible. An
But what
impossible
was
hypothetical is not a hypothetical at all.
okay? But what was your reasoning for you not being able to take that ability away? Of course,
My
besides the fact
my
that
reasoning for not being able to take that ability away is because it's an internal contradiction into his nature, who he is.
Right. If you take that ability away, he is no longer what he is right now.
That's not what I'm saying.
It sounds like exactly what you're saying.
No, you misunderstood. So again, in order to take that ability away, you would have to be taking away Allah from the equation. Then you're asking about a whole different thing. You're not even
Exactly.
asking about Allah. Yeah, essentially,
Exactly. If
you
you
would
take
be,
away one of
you
these
would be,
attributes, you're not
no,
talking about Allah anymore.
so again, you would be presupposing that it's not Allah. So then it's not even talking about Allah. Allah is inseparable from his attributes. The hypothetical is impossible because you can't separate the attribute.
Right. But my whole point is to establish that Allah is going to depend on his attributes. If Allah is not the creator, or more accurately, does not have the ability to create, then he is not actually Allah. That is not Allah, because Allah has the ability to create, and that cannot be taken from him. If
Again,
you were to take it, then it's
that's an
not Allah.
impossible hypothetical. You can't take it.
Okay,
You
so
can't establish an impossibility with a possibility. An impossibility cannot be established by a possibility. That would be a non sequitur. It would essentially be like me saying, your theology, you believe in the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, right?
yeah.
Okay. So it would be like me saying, but what if there was a fourth? That's an impossibility because of the fact that there was never claimed to be a fourth. Even in your theology, there's never a fourth. So that's a hypothetical impossibility. It's something that cannot be plausible, right?
Okay. I think I don't think I agree with you on that. So, like, okay, let's say, for
You
example,
think there could be a fourth?
no, that's not what I'm saying. No.
You see my point?
What?
Are you seeing my point now? You just said no. You see how fast you had to put that wall up and say, no, there's not a fourth.
Sure, I said no.
The
there's not a fourth.
hypothetical impossibility is the fact that you can't accept it within your theology. You're essentially asking me to answer something that I can't answer. It would be like me saying, can God lift a rock that is, or can God create a rock so heavy that he can't lift? It's one of those types of scenarios. It's a implausible impossibility.
Okay. Let me give you an example of something, because I think I don't know. Okay, so if I said, for if someone asked me, for example, right? I think you would agree that, like, if there were multiple instantiations of a divine nature, that's polytheism. Is that correct?
If there's what?
If there's multiple, like, instantiations of a divine nature, that's polytheism, correct?
If there's multiple instances, essentially.
Sure, yeah. If there's
Yeah,
multiple instances, okay, great. So if someone came up to me and asked me, look, I know you don't believe that the Trinity is polytheism, but if each person was an instantiation of the divine nature, would that be polytheism? And I tell them, yeah, if that is what we believed, that would be polytheism. Even though that's an impossibility, because I think there's good arguments
But that's
against
not an impossibility. The hypothetical is possible. The only way it's impossible
Wait.
is from your theology.
Hold on. You think polytheism is a possibility?
No, I think it's a possibility in the hypothetical.
My whole point is, I don't think a hypothetical needs to be possible, because, like, you could even say, like, if we go back to your example, right, where we say, look, can God lift a rock or make a rock that he cannot lift?
Well, that wasn't really my example. I stole that from the atheist who came in my
Yeah.
live one day. But yeah.
Yeah. But, like, my answer to that would be no, because it contradicts God's nature. The same way, I think it would be fine, or I think it would make perfect sense if I say, if you take away Allah's ability to create, is that still Allah? And you go, no, because that contradicts what it is to be Allah. Allah is the creator.
No, it's a literal impossible claim, is what I'm saying. You can't take it away.
Right, but I don't
It would
think
be
that
like
should
it would be
matter.
like you taking away my breath. Like, brother, you can't take it away. You can't establish a logical possibility based on hypothetical impossibilities. Put it this way. If it's a hypothetical impossibility, you can't substantiate that with a possibility. That's not how that works.
Okay, how about you give me an example? I want you to substantiate that, because I don't think I agree. And I don't
So again-
really understand.
Again, what I'm trying to tell you is, and here's an example, if there's something that is completely impossible in every single universe, for instance, 2 plus 2 equaling 75. If 2
Hmm.
plus 2 equals 75 in a known universe somewhere, that's a possibility, right? But it doesn't. So it's a hypothetical impossibility. So if somebody was to ask you, what if 2 plus 2 equals 75? It's a hypothetical impossibility. You can't actually answer the question because it doesn't exist in any realm of creation or in any reality. Even if there was multiple realities, 2 plus 2 always has to equal 4. It's a mathematical equation, right? So this hypothetical impossibility does not work. If it has no possibility, you cannot ask it. You can, I mean, in the English language, of course you can ask it, but you're not going to get a direct answer. You're not going to get the answer you want, is what I'm saying.
I don't
If it's an
think.
impossibility, you can't get the answer you want.
I don't think. I think if you put it in a different way, it would make perfect sense. Like for example, if you said, um, if you said, if 2 plus 2 equaled 5, and then you take 2 plus 2 and added it to 2 plus 2, then that would, in this hypothetical world, equal 10. If 2 plus 2 equal 5, and then you times that by 2, right? 2 plus 2, 2 plus 2. If 2 plus 2 equaled 5, then that would equal 10. Even though that's an impossibility, you can say that. So I don't think that's really an issue. I think you can derive what would be a truth in an impossible world, right? So if you say, if you could take away Allah's attributes, namely his ability to create, would he be Allah? And I think you can definitely say no, he couldn't
Okay,
be.
now let me answer it like this. You like metaphysics, so I'll answer it this way. Has there ever been even one metaphysician who posed an impossible hypothetical?
I can't name any off the top of my head.
There's none. I can tell you, there's none. I would
I,
actually implore you to search into it. There's not one metaphysician in the whole entire world, ever since the beginning of metaphysicians, there's not one who has said an impossible hypothetical and expected an actual answer. There might be one who posed one, but to show that you can't answer it, never to actually expect a legitimate answer to an impossible hypothetical. An impossible hypothetical is a non answerable question. That's what I'm saying.
I just disagree. I mean, again, are you okay, so my sort of example, right? If 2 plus 2 equaled 5, and then you take 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2, does that equal 10 if 2 plus 2 alone equals 5? I feel like the answer is yes. I don't see how you could say, no, that wouldn't be the answer.
It would be a logical impossibility considering
Right.
there's not one example of it happening, so you can't actually give a proper answer. If you give an answer, it can be dismantled.
I agree that 2 plus 2 equaling 5 is an impossibility. But
But
if I
if
were
you
to
can give
grant
the
that
answer, right,
but if,
it's going to
but
be
my,
dismantled, is my point.
but
The
my
answer
point,
is not secure.
but my point is, if I were to grant its possibility, then that would be true.
If I were to grant the possibility of the question you asked me, it would be a contradiction. Meaning, it
Exactly,
would
it would
not even
contradict what
be,
it means to be
it,
Allah.
it would not even, no, not that. It would be a contradiction to the whole topic. The reason why is because it would not even be a valid answer. If I
I
was
think
to
that
give you an answer, it would be able to be dismantled because it's not actually a plausible answer to a plausible question. It's a hypothetical impossibility. We're running in circles because you believe hypothetical impossibilities can be answered, but I don't because not even one metaphysician in the whole world has posed a hypothetical impossibility and thought that it would be answered. Not one. Not even the best. Like the best of the best have not even done it. It would
okay.
literally be something that nobody would even try to do. And the reason why is because it would be a waste of time. It would be like, how can I say this in the nicest way possible? It would be like me, right?
Mhm.
Essentially posing you a question about Christianity that you couldn't possibly answer. Something that would be so impossible for you to actually debunk or change the claim of, right? And try and like squeeze out of it. It would be like that. It would be so impossible you can't answer it. And if you did answer it, then it could be debunked. The answer could be debunked. The answer
Okay.
would not be a solid answer. if the answer is not a solid answer, then it's not an answer to begin with.
Okay, so hold on. I want to take you up on that. I want you to make it a hypothetical that would be so impossible for me to answer. But first, I want to, this guy in the comment, he says, an example of an impossible hypothetical is to assume if you can turn off gravity. I think that's a perfect example. I think turning off gravity, like, you can't turn off gravity, but
No, you can't.
if we were to turn off gravity, you could say it's a logical, like, you would say, look, if we were to turn off gravity, we would float. I feel like that's totally answerable. Even though you can never turn off gravity,
But
if we were,
again, it
we
would be
float.
debunked. You want to know why? Because, for instance, the physics of the universe would not function the same way. So no, you wouldn't float. It's debunked. Your answer immediately is flimsy. Because no matter what, the impossible hypothetical is literally relying and hindering
Wait.
on the actual the basis of the question. So the basis of the question is gravity. The impossible hypothetical is basing its whole entire theoretical on gravity. If you take away gravity, now it's not just impossible, it's a contradiction. Whatever answer you come up with is going to be completely contradictory to what gravity truly is. Anti-gravity doesn't exist without gravity. Would you agree?
I guess, sure. I'll just grant it.
So
'Cause I don't even
I'll-
really know what anti-gravity is.
I'll tell you why. Gravity is the positive. Anti-gravity is the negative. So
Yeah.
without the positive, you can't have the negative. It's an
Okay.
impossible hypothetical because you can't have one without the other. So you wouldn't float. This is why even the answer you gave would be a flimsy answer. It wouldn't actually be an answer because the answer is so baseless. It has no base. It has no base in reality. It's an impossible answer. It's an
Nope.
impossible question.
Notice what you did, though. Whenever I said that, remember what you said. I said, if you turn off gravity, we would float. You said, no, because if we turned off gravity, then none of the laws of the universe would work. You just answered impossible hypothetical. You took something like turning off gravity and said, look, if
And
we
even
turn
that-
off gravity, the
Even
laws...
that cannot be proven.
Okay,
So
so
even
then
my
you're-
answer cannot be proven. But what I'm
If-
saying is my answer is more plausible than yours. Somebody else could come up with a more plausible answer than mine. And it would still just keep going in circles. Because it's an
Okay.
impossible hypothetical.
I think your point is self-refuting because you're saying, look, we cannot answer anything about a hypothetical impossibility. But
Yep.
here you are making positive claims about hypothetical impossibilities, like you cannot answer them, or if
You
that's yeah, that's self-refuting. It's like, okay,
It's not.
I had a conversation with an atheist, right? He told me outside the universe, you cannot make logical claims about things outside of the universe. But notice what he did there. That itself is a logical claim about
It's not.
things outside the universe.
What
So
did
it's
I just tell
self-refuting.
you after I made the claim? That it could be refuted in seconds by anybody with more knowledge about metaphysics or physics. Now, my
Right.
point is, again, if it can be refuted that fast, it's not even an answer to begin with. What is an answer to a question? Can you answer that for me? What is a answer to a question?
I guess you could say like a sufficient explanation to a question.
Mm. Now, keep in mind, your definition was what? A sufficient explanation to a question.
Okay.
A sufficient explanation cannot be debunked in 2.2 seconds.
Well, I would just say you haven't debunked it. You just refuted yourself, right? I mean, I've noticed.
No,
Come on.
you would claim that, but again, here's the thing. Even that claim itself is proving my point. Do you want to know why? If you're
Why?
saying I refuted myself, then you're making a positive claim about the positive claim that I made. It's again a circular thing because it's an impossible scenario. An impossible scenario will always have a debunk. No matter what you do. Even the fact that you just said that, I could debunk that. And now we're going to go in circles again, and then you're going to debunk me, and then I'm going to debunk you, and then you're going to debunk me, and then I'm going to debunk you. Why?
'Cause
Because
it's
it's never going to be a
self-refuting.
positive claim.
Because it's self-refuting. You're saying, look, we cannot make positive claims about hypothetical impossibilities, but that itself is that is itself a positive claim about a
So what I
hypothetical
want you to
possibility.
read is the
That
second newest comment. And what he just said is exactly my point, and it's been my point the whole time. Once you argue from the world of impossible hypotheticals, you end with logical contradictions. That's the only way the conversation can end, is with
that's
contradictions.
that is a positive claim about impossible hypotheticals. He's saying, look, if you do
That is the metaphysical claim. So the
he's saying, look,
metaphysical claim behind positive hypothetical or impossible hypotheticals is literally that you can never come up with an answer for them. That's why I told you, try and find one metaphysician, a singular one, that made an impossible claim and expected a true answer. There's not one.
dude, okay, hold on, wait. Look, Jack just proved my point. He said, to say, what if God is not merciful? Then you are actually saying, what if God is not God? That's my entire point. If God is not merciful, then he's not actually God. That's my entire point. He just proved my point.
Yes,
Because
and
God
my
cannot
point
be God
is,
without being merciful.
even with his answer, which by the way, I'm not agreeing with his answer. Even with
Yeah,
his
I,
answer,
I probably should ask you if you agree with that.
no. So even
Yeah.
with his answer,
Mhm.
my point is, an impossible hypothetical cannot be answered. So even if you were to take his answer, even if I was to grant his answer, it wouldn't help you. It wouldn't benefit you. And the reason why is because even his answer is not a solidified answer. His answer is more like a hypothetical to an impossible hypothetical.
Okay, hold on.
It's circular.
Okay. This might be the last thing I ask you because I might. Okay, hold on. Okay, are you claiming, or what you said is like when you say we cannot answer or we cannot make positive claims about logical or impossible hypotheticals? You are making that claim, correct?
What?
You are making the claim that we cannot make positive claims about impossible hypotheticals, right?
Yes, based on scholars. Based
Right.
on scholarly evidence, you cannot answer an impossible hypothetical, but actually, and here's where the contradiction is, and you're kind of misconstruing the point. The actual answer I gave you about not being able to answer an impossible hypothetical, not being able to answer an impossible hypothetical is not impossible. So when you're saying, oh, you can't answer an impossible hypothetical, this is saying that the actual impossible hypothetical would be the contradiction, not the words impossible hypothetical. Are you getting what I'm saying, or do I need to break it down?
I just don't think it really matters. You're saying you
It
cannot.
does, because the question itself is not the impossible hypothetical. What I'm saying is what I was telling you, an affirmation about not being able to answer the impossible hypothetical, is completely possible for me to say that. Because there's actual proof. My bad. But there's actual proof, right? Whereas, if I was to say, now, this is an impossible hypothetical, answer it, that's where the problem comes in. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. So you said there's actual proof for not ever being able to answer an impossible hypothetical?
What I'm saying is, the proof is within scholarly testimony saying whenever an impossible hypothetical was posed, there was no answer for it. That's what I'm
Can I
saying.
see that?
Brother, again, all you need to do is look up any metaphysician. You like metaphysicians. You like metaphysics. What I'm telling you is do your basic research and come back to me with one metaphysician that agrees with your point over mine.
Look, my whole point is that this is entirely what logic is. We look at things that, and we look at a syllogism, right? Not It might not be sound. Not all the premises might be true, but even though they're not true, we can say if they were true, then this would automatically follow. That is entirely what logic is, and you're denying it, right? You're
No.
saying
What I'm
Okay.
saying is a hypothetical impossible has never been posed and proven.
Again.
There's no
okay.
use in answering it. That's what I'm telling you.
I think there totally is. I mean, again, I would say, like, if we go back to my example,
So
right?
what benefit comes from answering an impossible hypothetical? Tell
Yeah.
me what
Okay.
benefit
So,
comes
like,
from it.
for example, if you were to agree, right? If you were to agree that if we take away God, Allah's ability to create the world or to create, then He would not be Allah. If you were to agree to that, then that would bring us closer to a composition.
That would bring us closer to a what? You went off the screen.
Yeah, to establishing composition.
But again, establishing composition is the whole problem. That's begging the question, because that's the question that was being begged from the beginning.
What? How? I,
You were
I
literally trying to prove this from the beginning.
no,
So
I
saying,
asked you. I asked you, is your God composed?
yeah,
You said no, and then I gave you criteria. You granted it, and then from that
I
criteria,
granted
I'm
one
asking you.
criteria.
You granted my criteria. You
Yep.
said if I grant it, and then we went and we were going through the different criteria to see if Allah actually did in fact fulfill it for composition.
Yes,
And then
but
we
the
got stuck on
problem
this.
is
There's
one
no
of
begging the
those
question.
questions is literally a logical, hypothetical impossibility. It doesn't have logic. It doesn't actually entail. None of what you asked me
Okay.
in that question entails to Allah.
Again, okay. How about that? I mean, look, I think it's perfectly. Again, I feel like you guys ask us these questions all the time. You would be like,
Within
someone,
your theology, is it an impossibility?
huh?
Within your theology, is it an impossibility for us to ask that question?
With it, as in, are you just asking like if you were to ask?
The same thing to you. Would it be an impossibility? Or would it be possible for you to answer?
If you ask me a question about my theology, I could say, yes, that it cannot happen. That is impossible. But if it were possible, then this would follow.
Then it wouldn't be a hypothetical impossibility. Because you're posing a hypothetical. If you're posing a hypothetical and saying, hypothetically, this would follow,
Okay,
then
how
it's
about
not
this?
an hypothetical
this?
impossibility.
Hypothetically, if we were to take away Allah's attribute of being able to create, would he still be Allah? Hypothetically, if we were able to do that. We're not. I grant that. You're not able to do that. But if we are, then
Again, that's a hypothetical impossibility, is
okay,
what I'm telling you.
maybe give me your criteria for something not being a hypothetical impossibility again. Because
Okay,
you said once I said hypothetically, it
yes. The problem is you reframe the question exactly the same. I don't know if you noticed that. Maybe you forgot how you framed it the first time. That's exactly how you framed it to me the first time.
okay.
Now
So can
again,
you show me the difference in how I framed it, such that the other one wasn't a hypothetical impossibility, but this one is?
they're both hypothetical impossibilities. The first one you asked
You're,
is exactly what brought us into this loop. Now,
no,
what
no,
I'm
no.
saying is,
That's not what I mean. I meant when I said like if you like hypothetically, if you could do this like hypothetically, if the persons of the Trinity were multiple instantiations of the divine nature, then it would be polytheism. Polytheism is not logically possible. Neither is the divine essence a universal that you can instantiate.
okay, I'll
But
tell you
if that were
exactly
true,
how it
then
became a
that would follow.
hypothetical possibility. Because you gave a hypothetical.
So okay, hold on. So real quick, I just want to make sure.
Are you from the theology of Christianity?
Sure, yeah.
Okay. Now, if you're from the theology of Christianity, all right, and then you give a hypothetical posed on your theology, what does that mean?
Well, why don't you tell me?
If you pose a hypothetical, then
Okay.
you just made it hypothetically possible. Even if it's
Sure.
not possible, you made it hypothetically possible. What I will not do is grant something being hypothetically possible that, according to all our scholars, is hypothetically impossible. Unlike Christianity, with all due respect, we do not go against any scholars. We're not going to sit here and take the authority away from people who know the scriptures better than us. I'm
Okay.
not going to sit here as a layman, as a student, and make a impossible hypothetical possible by posing a hypothetical scenario that just doesn't follow.
Again, I would say that it is like polytheism, or let's just God being like the persons of the Trinity being instantiations, different instantiations of the divine nature. I would say that that is an impossibility, but I still think it's fine to say hypothetically, if it were possible, if this happened, if it were the case that the persons of the Trinity were different instantiations of the divine nature, then polytheism would follow. Is
Yeah,
that
so
okay to
then,
say? So how is
again,
that not
it would
okay?
be fine for you, because as Christians,
But
you
I already
guys
think
go
that's
against as Christians, you guys go against a lot of your church fathers' opinions. For instance, would
Every
you
church
take
father is going to say that polytheism is impossible.
yes, but
Give me a church father
again,
that said the opposite.
no. What I'm saying, actually, there's plenty. I could go over that with you.
Please. I want to see how polytheism is possible in my church fathers.
Okay, I got you. Hold on, let me pull out the computer. I got you. This is a sidetrack conversation, but I'm glad to go down it.
I don't think it's a sidetrack
It
because
is.
one of your
It is.
criteria was that
It for
it's
sure is, but I'm gonna grant it just so then I can bring you down this rabbit hole because this is probably the worst thing you've ever asked me.
because you said
This is very
that
damaging.
right. You said that one of the reasons why it was different for me than it is for you is because you listen to like all of your scholars. You don't just like reject
Yes,
them.
we listen to our scholars while Christians have a tendency of going against their scholars. That's what I said.
Okay, so then it's not tangential because that is a difference that means something. Does that matter? Does it
What do you
matter
mean?
that we don't follow our scholars?
It does matter
Okay,
because
so
your
if it matters in the
scholars, for
conversation, then it's
instance,
not tangential. I'm
uh,
not doing a red herring here.
so again, according to your scholars, there's a
Mhm.
possibility of multitudes of gods, not just one. So I'm going to show you that.
Okay, yeah. And remember, I'm Orthodox, right? I'm not gonna hold to a Catholic scholar, just like you don't hold to an Athari scholar.
It
Is that
doesn't
fair?
necessarily mean I reject Atari scholars entirely. Like, for
Well, right.
instance,
Of
Atari and
course,
Maturidi agree on a lot of things.
right. That you guys would agree that Allah is God. Same. But like, I'm saying, don't bring a person, right, that is going to reject my like. Okay, what's a core theme or idea in the school of thought you're in that is not in any other school?
A core theme in the, you mean like not in a fiqh school, but in the actual Aqidah?
I don't even know what that means.
I'll tell you. So
Yeah.
Aqidah is our main beliefs. It's what
Mhm.
separates the Maturidi, Atari, and
Yes,
Ashari.
exactly. Yes.
Whereas the, for instance, Hanbali, Hanafi, Shafi'i, and Maliki all believe the same exact thing, but they just, or they're all valid rather. They just have different schools of fiqh. Fiqh is the smaller things like hand placement during prayer, things like this.
Yeah. So what is like a
Okay.
core belief that
A
like
core belief is parts. For instance, you brought up parts. That's a very
Mhm.
different thing. Asharis like to affirm that there are parts. We
Yes.
would never do that as Mataradi.
Okay, perfect. So I mean, I'm just trying to make sure you would not hold to a scholar that said there are parts.
I would not hold to that position of that scholar, but there's
Okay.
plenty of other positions that scholar could be knowledgeable on, so I never reject a scholar outright because that would be completely against our beliefs as Muslims.
Okay. So let me just ask you this, right? So what if I mean, what is to stop me, right, from just saying, okay, look, this guy who's like, let's say a Catholic scholar, he might agree with me on some things. He says polytheism is a logical possibility. Why can't I just say, no, I don't hold to that because my
There's
scholars don't hold to
nothing
that?
stopping you from saying that. That's my point. My point is, this is literally going to be going in circles because all you're going to do is reject whatever proof I bring you about, you know, like the Father and the Son being separate gods. For instance, a church father who famously said that the Father and the Son are separate gods, according to, pretty much every single source that I could pull up. And he didn't believe in the Trinity, was Arius. Do you know who Arius
He's
is?
not a church father.
He is.
Arius is not a church father.
Arius is a church father. You might not take him as a church father, but he's definitely a church father.
You're right. An Arian might take Arius to be a church father, but again, anything Arius says, why should I hold to it? I mean,
Because again,
okay.
this is just one example of polytheism showing up in Christianity. You said polytheism is a complete
Yes,
impossibility, did you not?
I said it was a complete impossibility. Yeah.
To Christians.
Yeah.
Does he claim to be a Christian?
Does he claim to be a Christian? Yeah, but I don't think he
Okay,
is.
but here's the thing. Does he claim to be a Christian?
Sure.
Does he pose this hypothetical?
Like does he pose the hypothetical like if there was polytheism or something like
Yeah,
that?
yeah, yeah.
I guess you're about to show me.
Yes. So, in the core belief of Arius, he argued that God the Father alone is eternal, unbegotten, and the only true God. And he taught that Jesus Christ, right, the Son, is a created being. And he famously summarized that his stance was there was once the Son, but once was not.
Yeah.
That was his phrase, okay? This is what he said. So he asserted that the Son did not always exist, but was subordinate to the Father, a separate lower God. What does that mean? He posed the hypothetical, correct?
Sure. Yeah. Sure. That
Okay.
sounds like polytheism.
Now,
Okay.
but when he posed the hypothetical for two separate gods, one being a lower distinct God and one being a higher distinct God, this is then polytheism, yes or no? Does that follow?
Yeah, that's polytheism. Yeah.
Okay. Now, you would not accept this. I know this because I know your beliefs. You would not accept it. But is it a plausible hypothetical possibility within a Christian sect?
Within well, I wouldn't say they're Christian, but you mean a sect that claims
Yeah.
to be. That's
Yeah.
what you mean. Okay, there is a
Just
Christian
as
sect that
I wouldn't call
that,
Shia Muslim, right? But
yeah.
Shia sure have some hypothetical possibilities that I might not agree with, but then I have to answer the hypothetical because it's a hypothetical. They wouldn't even pose this impossible hypothetical you brought up. So there's not one sect of Islam that takes the hypothetical you posed, whereas the Christian claim there is at least one or two sects, which I could pull up another one, but there's at least one or two sects that claim that polytheism is a possibility. Do you see what I'm saying?
I don't think that would actually follow. I think there's a Muslim I can invite up here. I'm not saying I'm going to do it right now unless you agree, right? I think and he's an authority, right? He believes that God is composed, I believe. I bet if I asked him, hey, because he's really smart, he would say, if I said, hey, what is a logical entailment of composition in Allah? If he answered, right, he said, X. And then I say, okay, look, if your God, if Allah was not composed, would X be the case? And he'll tell me straight up, he'll say, no, that is not the case. Even if that would be a logical impossibility, because of course...
Then he would be wrong for answering a logical impossibility because he doesn't have the right to do so. As a non-scholar, he cannot do so. What I'm saying is, find a scholar to answer this for you, 100%. I'm not a scholar. I'm studying to be a scholar, but I'm not a scholar. Okay? So I can't take authority from scholars who already wrote papers on papers on papers about this. And when it comes to hypothetical impossibilities, we're not to answer them as students. It's not our place.
Okay, how about this? Because I
in
think
Christianity, why I'm saying this is okay, right? And why I made the difference, the distinction here, is because a Christian group, whether you hold to them or not, would say that this is a logical possibility. Whether it's a impossibility for you or not is not the question. It's saying within the theology of Christianity, is there at least one group of Christians who holds to this possibility? You would say they're not Christian, but they claim to be. Just like I would include Shia in an Islamic hypothetical, even though I don't claim they're Muslim. Do you see what I'm saying? If they pose this hypothetical, and you could find one Shia writing saying that this was a hypothetical, or one Sunni writing saying that this is a hypothetical, then I would say okay.
Okay, how about this? Because I think we're going in circles. So I'm tired. I kind of want to end this, but I do want to leave with something. Do you have anything I can read on that would be saying what you are, that namely that impossible hypotheticals are not answerable? Do you have anything to give me? You can message me later.
Yes, I can message you later with some actual proofs of this, if you wanted me to. And that being said, I have plenty of different metaphysicians that actually agree with me on this, where a impossible hypothetical can just simply not be answered within certain theologies. Now, the reason that they say this, do you know why?
Why?
I'm gonna blow your mind with this one. It's kind of like a playing devil's advocate here. So, it's from a Christian paradigm. A metaphysician from Christianity had said he refuses to answer all hypothetical impossibilities because it would not be beneficial to the Christian audience. He refuses.
Yeah, I wouldn't
This is
agree with
from a
that.
Christian. And that's just one example. There's plenty of atheists that don't. There's plenty of Muslims that don't. There's plenty of even Hindus and Buddhists and other things that don't. Do you see what I'm saying?
Sure.
So I'm going to send you a few citations, not just one. I'll send you a
Mhm.
few citations after this live, right?
Okay.
After I conclude with this. And I will give you plenty of people who say impossible hypotheticals are not to be answered. They're a waste of time. They don't actually benefit anybody.
Okay. Do they give reasoning or do they just say it?
They say that the impossible hypotheticals are not beneficial, and then they give short reasonings why, yeah. They don't
Okay.
actually give, like, in-depth reasonings or anything like that, but they give short reasonings.
As long as I'm getting a citation of some sort of reasoning
Yeah.
why, as opposed to just a bunch of people denying it,
Yeah,
then
no, no,
fine.
no. There's definitely reasoning. I mean, if you look into these people's works, they have hundreds of reasons. The only thing is, I'll give you like exact citations to reasons, but certain times there's hypotheticals that were posed that they refuse to answer due to the fact that it just wouldn't progress the conversation. Like we did, where you wanted me to answer it really badly. We just went in a circle. The audience is probably bored. Half of these people probably snoring, and I feel bad for them. You know? And I bet you do too, because we got almost nowhere. So, what I'm saying is, essentially, when you're having these conversations, try to pose hypotheticals that actually can be within their theology. For instance, do a little bit more research into Islam and maybe come back. I'll have a future panel where you'll see the same thing up here. So, where this does occur, just come back and, you know, hit me with a few more questions that are plausible and we can get somewhere 100% because I do enjoy having conversations with you. The last conversation we had was amazing. I think you're better with Christianity than you are with Islam. I think even you would admit that.
Yeah.
So, as much as I love to keep the conversation going, I think we've hit that, you know, that wall, that hypothetical wall.
Yeah.
And yeah, brother, I would
Okay.
love to have you back, inshallah. And if you want to come back and maybe talk about, you know, Islam or even Christianity, you'll see plenty of my lives. Whenever you do see them, you're always welcome on the panel. You're
Mm.
respectful, you know, I have no problem with you. And I definitely respect the fact that you spent so much time up here and that you had a back and forth with me without blaspheming or having any disrespect. And
Yeah.
that being said, uh, yeah, assalamu alaikum, brother. I
Yeah.
mean,
Bye. Okay. God bless.
have a good one, brother.
Yep. You too.
Let's get somebody else up here. We have Ghost. Oh, wait. Did I just accept the wrong person? I think I did. That's okay. We got Zulfikar.
Oh, what's up, brother?
How's it going? Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.
So,
What's up, bro?
how you been, man?
Nothing, man. Just chilling, bro. We just done finished the World Cup, man.
Nice.
Jordan and Algeria. So been just watching that, man.
Nice,
How you
nice.
been,
Let me
man?
see. I've been alright. I'm honestly trying to get some people who can answer this question for me, but I don't think I've been seeing too many. We'll get Ghost up here. I mean, Ghost was trying to. Oh, request canceled. Never mind. He was trying to join earlier, but I think I took too long to accept him.
Yeah.
It happens, man. It
Alright.
happens.
Yeah, man. Yeah, no, I seen the live that you sent me. It just, I gotta watch this football, man. My brother's
Yeah,
just
man,
going
you're
crazy.
good.
Yeah.
I love having these conversations, but I feel like we were running into a wall, as I explained to the Christian brother, only because of the fact that he kept raising a impossible hypothetical, which I'm not
Mm,
gonna answer impossible hypotheticals, you know. Walaikum salam wa
mm.
rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Alaikum
But the
salam. Yeah.
reason why is because we don't have a right as Muslims. We don't have a right to actually raise a hypothetical that we don't know the answer to. Like, for instance, if it's going to blaspheme Allah, we can't raise that hypothetical. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So I was telling him, like, according to every Islamic scholar that ever lived, Athari, Mataradi, Ashari, no matter which Aqidah you go to, they would
Mhm.
never accept such a hypothetical. Never.
Yeah,
Because it would
because they're not.
blaspheme who Allah is, you know?
Yeah, and plus they're not like knowledgeable in
Yeah.
that sense.
So
Yeah,
I
yeah,
would
yeah,
say,
100%.
and I literally tried telling him, like, I did the simple Allahumma alam, like, Allahumma
Yeah,
alam.
yeah,
I don't know,
yeah. You can't make like a statement on something you don't know for sure.
exactly. I was like, I'm not going to make
Like
a statement on this because it'll definitely end up blaspheming.
backfire.
Yeah, yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm
You
like,
gotta be careful with that.
I'm not gonna blaspheme and take myself
Do
out the fold of
you
Islam.
do you know exactly what he was like asking? I think I
Yeah,
came
yeah,
like
yeah.
at
I
the
remember.
last.
So what he was asking was, and this is the impossible hypothetical. He said, if I took away Allah's attribute to be the all-knowing and the most merciful, would this be Allah still? And I was like, that's
What?
an impossible hypothetical. You can't take away his attributes. His attributes
That's
are
so
inseparable from himself. You can't take them away.
exactly. I
But he
mean,
wasn't accepting that answer. So I was like, then you're asking an
that's
impossible hypothetical. And he goes, but hypothetically. And I was like, you can't ask a hypothetical like that. Even
yeah,
theologians from
that's
Christianity would say the same thing. You can't ask a hypothetical that is impossible within the theology because then you run into a brick wall, you know?
yeah, yeah. Was he a Christian?
Yeah, yes, he
That's like
was.
that's something an atheist would say, man. It's like,
That's what I'm
can
saying.
God, yeah, like can God make a rock he can't live? Like, that's like,
And
what are
I
we
even
doing?
brought that hypothetical up to him, and he goes, well, I would answer that hypothetically. And I was like, no, because that means you're making the hypothetical possible.
Exactly.
I was like,
That's
that's not
okay.
how that works. You can't just make a
That's,
hypothetical possible. You're breaking
I
the whole
mean,
entire theology. It's like
exactly.
saying, for instance, it would be like me saying, oh, well, to a Hindu, right? Being like, well, what if Shiva just didn't exist? And the Hindu would be like, excuse me? The Hindu would be like, that's an impossible hypothetical. What are you talking about?
Ex exactly.
Like,
I
you
thought,
can't ask something that just breaks the theology. That literally is just asking somebody to blaspheme, and that's not gonna happen.
wow, that's crazy. That's crazy. Because what I thought it was like, I thought we were like on the same page of what God is, like all knowing, most powerful,
That's what
and
I
all
was
of that.
saying. I
Like,
was like, why do you want to separate that attribute so badly? Like, why that one? Why are you going for
yeah,
the ones that even you believe in, the most merciful?
yeah.
Like, why would you ask that? You know?
I don't know, man. That's a little weird. I thought he was gonna go to like the Hadith or like how
Yeah, I mean,
accurate the
if you're
Quran is
trying to
or something
prove
like that.
Islam is false, why would you
Yeah,
go for an impossible hypothetical that just doesn't work?
yeah, yeah. It's like
You see what I'm
we're
saying?
not like God is the same. Like whatever you believe in God is, we do. It's just we don't believe he's what he was a human. So like
Yeah.
at least attack it from that angle. Like okay, what about Jesus? What about
I was waiting
like
for him
how?
to say something about, like, well, Islam affirms the scriptures, take it down the Islamic dilemma route. Like, I've handled
Yeah,
it
yeah.
so many times that I love when people bring up the Islamic dilemma, right? But
Or like
they
yeah,
just
like I was
stop
about to say
doing it
like
now. I guess they know that it doesn't work, but they just
it
stop doing
doesn't.
it now. And I'm like, come on, bring it up, please.
Yeah, does it confirm or does it not?
Yeah, I love when they do that. It's so
No,
good.
but I was about to say like I thought he was gonna go to like the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam in the Bible. Like, was he actually in the Bible or not?
To
Like, I thought he was
to
gonna bring
answer
something
your
like that.
questions, Hadaya, I'm a Mataradi Hanafi. Not that it matters.
Mm.
I'm a Muslim.
I, Alhamdulillah,
Alhamdulillah.
Muslim brother. Yes, yes, yes.
That's
That's
how I
crazy.
say it. I'm a Muslim. I mean,
Yes, Muslim.
yeah.
Oh man.
Everything else comes second.
Oh, for real.
My
Yeah,
fiqh,
everything.
my
Of course.
aqidah, everything else comes second. Uh, I'm a
That's
Muslim.
Muslim is number one,
Yeah. I'm a
and then
Sunni, not a
worker.
Shia. That's what's important. I follow the
I'm gonna change
sunnah
that
of the Prophet
profile.
Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Sallallahu alaihi wasallam, yeah.
Oh,
We gotta,
Deppy.
we gotta.
Deppy, are you coming up to answer the prompt?
Hey, what's up, brother?
How's it going?
No, let me mute myself, man.
Sulfikar's like, oh, let me get out of the firing range.
Yeah, man, that's all you, bro. I just wanna,
Alright,
I wanna be a witness. That's it.
sounds good, man.
All
Deppy,
right.
how's it going,
Yeah,
man? You
I'm
gonna
good.
address the prompt?
Yeah, I got it.
Sounds good.
So, hey, what religion are you, brother?
Me, I'm a Muslim.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Then how are you gonna
Oh.
prove Islam is not true? Brother, I mean, alhamdulillah, I'm glad you're Muslim, but, how are you gonna prove
Shit.
Islam is not true?
No. I'm Muslim, but I got some questions about it.
Oh, you got questions about Islam? Or you got
No,
questions about what?
about Muslim.
About a Muslim? Like a specific Muslim?
No, like the religion.
Oh, about Islam. Yeah.
Yeah. So, hey, don't get offended though.
You're good?
But so you follow Muhammad, right?
I do follow the Prophet Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Yo.
Do you think he's a bad dude?
No, I think he's the moral example for all of mankind.
All right, look. I'm sure everyone asked this question, but why did he marry a young girl?
Okay, so there's been many people who asked this.
Yeah.
The only people who have a problem with it is in modern day. It's literally a presentism argument. Presentism is when you bring the modern day association into the past. For instance, if you were to use the same logic about Christianity, Christianity is now false. Why? Because Christianity also has minors being married to adults. Judaism has the same thing. Hinduism has the same thing. Buddhism has the same thing. Do you know why? Because this was thousands of years ago. And thousands of years ago, even 1,000 years ago, there was plenty of people marrying young people. Now again, and this is where it becomes important, for the Prophet Muhammad Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he did not consummate the marriage until she was of sound mind, sound body, and moral maturity, meaning the morality of the people around him suited the marriageable age. So, what I am going to say is, it's very easy to counter this point due to the fact that if there was a problem with him marrying such a woman, then wouldn't it have been brought up by his detractors at the time? Wouldn't the pagan Arabs have said, hey, you're married to so-and-so and that's wrong? Wouldn't the Christians at the time who were fighting him have said this? Wouldn't anybody else have said that? Wouldn't any of his detractors throughout history, other than 20 to 30 years ago, have said this? This conversation only rose up about 30 years ago. So when people bring this up, it's amazing to me because it's from a presentism mindset. Presentism doesn't work. Presentism is essentially just going to bite you in the butt. Because whatever you believe in is going to bite you.
Yeah.
Because the same thing applies to everybody else. All of human history, every single human being, for all of humanity, before 200 years ago, saw this as okay. Morally okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I got
200 years ago, it became wrong, whatever, as wrong, right? And then, of course, laws have changed. Maturity ages have changed. I mean, if you look at women now, when do they become mature?
Like 19 or 18.
Okay, so they're mature later now. Why? Because they have less duties, less responsibilities. The more responsibilities you have, the faster you mature. For instance, I matured very young because I had a lot of responsibilities on my plate. But if you
Yeah.
ask any other young boy, when they matured, it would have been 14, 15, 16 years old. I matured at 11. I had a lot of, maturity by 11 years old because I had a lot of things that I had to do. You see what I'm saying? Maturity is based on the actual ability to do things. When you are more mature, then you are more amped to be sexually active. And obviously, again, there's some states, and as the brother in the comments just said, there's some states that actually allow marriage at 14. There's some states that up until 100 years ago was allowing marriage at 7. 7. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The whole entire argument about Aisha radiallahu anha falls flat. Because it's literally a presentism argument that didn't arrive until less than 100 years ago. Which I would even argue 30 years ago. Because I've never heard it from anybody more than 30 years ago. Never. And I've researched, I've done plenty of copious research on Aisha radiallahu anha before I reverted to Islam, because obviously, I mean, it was a big, topic, it was something that a lot of people brought up, but that's because I'm living in modern day, and for some reason, people love to bring this up about the Prophet, because it's the only thing they can bring up. They can't prove him wrong on his prophecies. They can't prove him wrong on his miracles. All they can ever say is, well, this is morally wrong today. Who? Who said so? Did God say so? No. So you're taking the morals of men over God. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Who is more morally inept, humans or God? Because to me, the inept ones are humans. The ones who don't know anything are humans. I take God as all-knowing. He's the one who knows the beginning, the end, the judgment that I'll face, the judgment that you'll face, right? He's the only one who knows. Allahumma alam.
Yeah, I have another question too.
Of course.
So you love Jesus, right?
I love Jesus. Yes, I love Isa alayhi salam. Yeah.
Okay.
He's a beautiful man.
So do you think he's God or no?
No.
Nope. So do you think the Bible is false?
Nope. People run the Islamic dilemma all the time. I don't think the whole Bible is corrupted. I think part of the Bible is corrupted, and even if one word was corrupted, I would do a general confirmation of the scriptures, and then I would hold to what? I would hold to the parts that are true, that are affirmed by the Quran, and then I would also hold to the fact that the Furqan or the Quran corrects and consciously edits the Bible. So whatever is consciously edited by the Quran is clearly wrong.
So do you think Jesus lied?
No, because Jesus never said 90% of what is in the modern day Bible attributed to him. For instance, Paul never met Jesus. So anything written by Paul within Philippians, Galatians, Corinthians, Paul and all these other letters, these are not actually the words of Jesus. It's just not. Doesn't follow. He never met him. Oh, but he met him on the road to Damascus, but that doesn't follow. Because you can't prove that. That's like me saying, I met Jesus, now believe me, I'm going to change your whole religion.
Yeah, so what do you think before Abraham, I am? What does that mean to you?
Before Abraham was I am? It means that Allah thought of creating him, right? Before
But Jesus said that.
Yeah. Allah thought of creating all the prophets at the same time. So before Abraham was born, Jesus was already conceived in there.
But Jesus says, before Abraham, I am.
Yeah. Can you show me where Jesus was?
No.
You can't. So then the only provable claim would be the one I'm making, where all prophets were before Abraham. For instance, Moses, Muhammad, Jesus, all of these prophets, they were all before Abraham.
So Jesus also said, if you have seen me, you have seen the Father. Yeah,
oh,
what does
yes.
that mean
Well,
to
that
you?
just means that every single prophet can make this claim again. For instance, if you saw Muhammad, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, did you see Allah?
No.
Yes, you did. You saw the embodiment of the Prophet of Allah. You saw Allah.
So Muhammad is Allah?
Nope.
So what does that mean?
See, the problem with Christians is they take everything too literal. That's not what that means.
I'm
What it
not
means
Christian.
is you are. But anyways, what it means is it's a hypothetical. So, the hypothetical is, if you see a prophet, you're seeing the embodiment of Allah's words. Yeah.
No, I'm Muslim.
You're not, but
I'm a little confused about this religion.
How many rakat in wudu?
What?
How many rakat in wudu?
So I got no clue.
You don't know?
No.
Oh, well then you're not a Muslim.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have another question too.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hold on.
Yeah. Google's not gonna help you, but go for it. Hamza, you seeing this, buddy?
Hey man, hey, it's خلص, you know, the shaitan, he deceives anybody, you know.
I'm back.
Go ahead. Say your question, man.
I have to feed my dog.
Yeah. Say your question, man.
So, which Quran do you read?
There's only one Quran.
But which one do you read?
There's only one Quran. Do you want me to restate that again?
Like the Hadith?
What?
The Hadith?
The Hadith are not the Quran.
Yeah, it is, brother.
No, it's not.
There's like 3 different versions of the
Are you okay?
Quran.
The Hadith are not the Quran. There's only one Quran.
What's it called?
The Quran.
That's it?
Yep. There's one Quran that's called the Quran.
Oh, because my dad has 3 different versions of it.
Does he?
Yeah.
That's a lie. Show me the 3 different versions. Send me the picture.
Come on, bro.
Let me go get him.
No, I'm literally trolling the one who's trying to troll. This is hilarious.
Let me go get him.
Yeah. Go get the 3. Yeah.
Look, bro. Come on, man. It was doing good.
Vlad, I hate to tell you, buddy, those are recitations, not different Qur'ans. Clearly, somebody doesn't know anything about what a recitation is. Modals of recitation are still the same Qur'an. Do they have the same meaning? Yes. Do they have the same wording? Yes. Are they just different pronunciations? Yes. So what is it? They are all valid recitations, modals of recitation that were all revealed to the Prophet Muhammad, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And every single one is found within actual manuscripts. You know what's funny about Christianity? There's not one manuscript from the 1st century. Find me one. Because the only one I know about is Codex Sinaiticus and Codex Vaticanus. And guess what? Codex Sinaiticus and Codex Vaticanus are completely contradictory to each other. Codex Vaticanus actually abrogates about 30% of Codex Sinaiticus. How many Bibles do you got? Hundreds. How many Qur'ans do we got? 1. Oof. Imagine fumbling that hard.
Oof. Hey, invite Vlad, man.
Yeah, what's up, man?
Yeah, what's up, man? Did Google help you this time?
Yeah, I got the 3 Qurans.
You got the 3 versions. Yeah, what are they? I'll wait.
What?
What are they? I'll wait.
What'd you say?
Are you deaf? You okay?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah, what's up?
Okay. So, what are the different versions of Quran?
Yeah, hold on.
Don't worry, Rimlick. This is literally a easy dub. There's a reason I'm asking him this. It's a trap. It's a trap, you know.
Yeah, give me a second.
Yeah, I'll wait. Just a heads up, I wouldn't really go with what the guy in the comments is saying. He clearly is a little, you know?
Come on, man. Come on. What are we doing, man? What are we doing?
What is Vlad doing? This man is a little, you know? He doesn't know what a modal of recitation is.
Oh,
no, I don't lose when I insult. I insult stupid people. There's a big difference.
Nah, brother.
Hey, what's up?
Yeah.
I got the Hafs.
You do? The Hafs? Okay. Yeah. Well, the Hafs is not a different version of Quran. It's still one Quran. Do you read Arabic?
A little bit.
You do?
A little bit.
Okay. I want you to read Al-Fatiha, beginning to end.
Let me see. Brother, mine's in Spanish.
You said you read Arabic.
Yeah, but this one's in Spanish.
Then that's not even the Quran.
It says Quran on it.
Does it? Yeah. Does it also say translation of the Quran on it?
No.
It doesn't.
Oh,
no.
You sure?
Halas, bro. Halas, the Quran is in Spanish. You got us, man. Come on.
Yeah. You totally got us. There's a Quran in Spanish?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah.
Show me one manuscript of the Quran in Spanish.
Hold on.
Yeah. I'll wait.
Oh, man, I can't breathe, bro.
He's trying to troll, but he's failed a long time ago. See, the thing is, he came up on a live not knowing that I am way more knowledgeable than him.
What's going on,
Do you read Arabic now? Yes, I do read Arabic. Yeah. Unlike you, Vlad, I actually read Arabic. And
check the man's bio, man.
Yeah, I know, right? I just saw his Zulfikar. Are you serious? Alright.
Hey, what's up?
Yeah. What's up, Troll Master? What's good, man?
Hey, that's disrespectful.
No, it's actually very respectful. You came up on here saying you were a Muslim. I asked you one question. You proved you weren't Muslim. Then you claim you have Qur'ans, but then you claim they're in Spanish. I asked you to read one surah, which is only 7 ayat long, and you can't even do that in Arabic.
Yes, I'm Muslim.
You're not.
Oh, my dad's Muslim.
How many rakat in wudu?
What?
How many rakat in wudu?
What's that?
Man, come on, man.
Brother, you ain't Muslim, bro. Get off of my live, man. You a troll. Get off my panel.
What the hell we're doing?
The man failed to prove there's more than one Quran. He didn't bring me one manuscript in Spanish because he can't.
My dad is Muslim.
This man claimed he was Muslim. I hope you know. I pray, inshallah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala holds that whole conversation against you on the final day.
Hey, brother, inshallah you be a Muslim.
Every single one. Every single word of this conversation, I hope it's held against you.
That's crazy, man. That's crazy.
You got one good job. Yeah, one Quran. One Quran. That's what we got. We got one Quran.
I think at the beginning, man, when he mentioned like the age of marriage, I was like, okay, maybe he had doubt, but nah. He was trolling.
No. See, I knew the second I described the flawless nature of how you can defend Aisha's age, radiallahu anha, and he just said, oh, yeah, well, I have another question. I was like, pfft.
Okay, yeah.
It's called Khol, and it's Khol. My wife misspelt it. She don't speak Arabic.
True. Yeah, man. Oh my god.
And me, I'm sloppy at speaking it, but I could sure read it. I can sure read it.
Come on, Al-Fatiha? Like, come on, that's like beginner.
Al-Fatiha! You couldn't even do Al-Fatiha! Imagine if I asked him to do Ayatul Kursi.
Oh my god.
He would have been
But
cooked, brother.
cooked,
Cooked.
man. The shortest surah, he wouldn't even know.
I could have told him Ikhlas. He wouldn't have even known that one.
My god. But I was waiting for you to say like, what's the 5 pillars? I was like,
Brother, I didn't even have to ask that. The first thing I ask wannabe Muslims is how many rakat in wudu?
ah, man, that's crazy, man. That's
How
crazy.
many rakat in wudu?
These Christians really, they really have to be, they fake to be Muslims just to make us look bad. That's crazy.
Brother, they can't even they can't even track, bro.
Oh yeah.
Andrew, you want to address the prompt, buddy?
Oh, sorry. Hi.
How old are you? What's your faith?
I'm 19. I'm 19, sorry, and I'm atheist.
You're an atheist.
Oh.
Yep.
Okay, this ought to be fun. Prove Islam is not true.
Yeah, so before we start the debate, I have a question.
Yeah.
What would make you, what would make you disbelieve in Islam? Like, what would
make me disbelieve in Islam?
What would I have to prove?
Proof without 100%, like 100% shadow of a doubt. Nothing can go against it. You have to prove it without a shadow of a doubt. You have to make sure that I don't have room to punch back at all.
Okay, that's gonna be really hard.
Yeah. In other words, for instance, you boxed yourself out of metaphysical claims, and you know this as an atheist. There's not one metaphysical claim you can make that'll actually hold up. That's why I said this will be interesting.
Okay,
You're going purely off the physical, because if you go off metaphysical, well, the problem is you have no metaphysical theology within atheism. Atheism rejects the metaphysical, so you can't disprove the metaphysical, which means technically you can't even disprove Islam.
Well, no. No, because most of the teachings in Islam are physical.
Metaphysical. They're metaphysical.
Well,
are you saying Allah is a physical thing?
No, but he's not a teaching.
But does he teach you about himself within Islam?
He writes, well, I mean, most of his teachings are in the book, and the book is physical.
In the Quran.
Yeah,
but
and the book is physical.
In the Quran, does it claim to be the word of Allah?
No. Well,
it doesn't?
I don't know.
It doesn't say it's the Kitab?
I don't usually debate Islam. You'd have to tell me.
Yeah, so it says it right in the Quran. It's the Kitab. The clear revelation from Allah, right? And when it says it's a clear revelation from Allah...
I'd have to disprove the Quran.
Well, you would have to disprove the metaphysical claim that it is from Allah. You would have to disprove that. Because just disproving the book is proving nothing. It just disproves that the piece of paper and the book itself, which we hold to have no value, the book itself has no value. You know what has value, right? The words and claims inside of the text.
The word of God has value.
No, the word of Allah, not the actual book. We're not like Christians. You know why Muslims don't get up in arms when their Qur'ans are torched?
No.
It's because of the fact that that's a legitimate way of disposing of a book when it's no longer good. It's a book. Whereas the revelation of Allah is the words of Allah. The direct, clear revelation of Allah is the words. For instance, A'udhu billahi minash shaitani rajim, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, right? Which means, what? I seek refuge in the name of Allah from the accursed Satan, right? And then it says that in the name of Allah, the most merciful, the especially merciful, right? Okay. Now, when it's saying this is a revelation. The words hold the meaning. The fact that we can recite it off of the top of our head is what holds meaning. It's not actually the book. You could take the book, throw it away, and we would still know what it means. The revelation is what matters. The recitation is what matters, because that's the way it came down. It didn't come in a book form, did it? According to our theology, we don't claim it came down as a physical entity.
Yeah.
We claim it came down as word of mouth, speech.
So I'd have to disprove that it came down from word of speech.
Precisely.
Okay. Wow, okay, that's gonna be...
It's gonna be hard.
Yeah, I don't think I can... Okay, wow, okay. I'd have to... Okay, we can start... man, my history isn't even that good.
You want me to give
Andrew,
you a little bit of a history lesson on how it happened? How the revelation happened?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so the Prophet Muhammad, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, was part of the Qurayshi tribe, right? It's in Saudi Arabia. He lived in Mecca. Do you know where Mecca is in modern day?
I've heard of it, but no,
Okay.
I don't.
So-
No, not precisely.
The Mecca, well, the precise location's not important. You know it's in Saudi Arabia, right?
Yep.
Perfect. All right, so the Mecca, right, is a beautiful location. It was a trading hub. This trading hub, he chose to live outside of it and in a cave in the mountains, right? And when he was in this cave, he was praying, right? He was praying to a creator, but he never believed in polytheistic claims. He never believed in multiple gods and this and that. So he never went down and prayed to these idols. What he did was he prayed in the cave alone with his face to the floor, and he prayed to God, right? When he was praying to this one true God, eventually he saw an angel. This angel was made of pure light, was standing in the doorway of the cave, and his name was Jabril alayhi salam, or Archangel Gabriel as the Christians would call him. Now Jabril alayhi salam, he came in the form of a man, but also encompassing light. So this is a metaphysical claim already. When he came to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, read, right? Ikra, read. And the Prophet Muhammad said, I can't, right? He said, I'm unlettered, I'm unlearned. And then he said, again, read. And he said, I'm unlettered. And this proceeded up until the fact that he said, fine, then I'll recite it to you. Now that I know you're the real prophet, I will recite it to you, right? When he recited it over a period of 23 long years, revelation after revelation came down, one after the other. Some had witnesses, some did not, due to the fact that when there was witnesses, they would witness, extra, how would you say it? Extra physical events, meaning some things were physical, some things were metaphysical. You couldn't see some things happening to them, but you knew they were happening. And then you could see some things happening. Like, for instance, would you agree your eyes rolling back, you trembling, and getting cold in the desert heat is not normal?
Yeah, if I got cold in the desert heat, yeah, sure.
Okay. Now, this had been witnessed by many different followers of the Prophet Muhammad, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So this alone is a metaphysical but physical claim at the same time. The reason why is the metaphysical is what made him cold, correct? But the physical is obviously the seeing of it, right? Like you're seeing him actually get cold. He's shivering. So, this being said, there was even times where he had cold sweats. You know what cold sweats are?
Yep.
Where somebody's shivering and they're really cold and they're sweating. That's not normal in the desert, especially when it's 100+ degrees. In 600 AD, there was no ACs or fans, Like, we're talking about heat, straight heat. So, this is a claim that the angel Jabril, the way that he would reveal these words, was so heavy and profound that a human being could not handle it in their physical matter. But yet, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam did, because he had something metaphysical that other humans did not have, and that was being a prophet of Allah. And if you're a true prophet, you can handle the metaphysical better than the average physical human being. Now you would have to disprove this claim. We'll start there.
Okay. So, about the cold sweats.
Yeah.
Was it like a sickness or like how?
Nope. It went right after the revelation. So it would come and then it would go. Meaning it would come when he got the revelation, right? When the angel was spotted, when people saw light, it would come to him. He would start cold sweating and eyes rolling back, and he was reciting things. And the second the recitation was over, he lost the cold sweats. He wasn't cold anymore. He was hot. He was cold to the touch, and then he was hot.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Sorry. I thought like he like randomly just turned like cold. Okay.
He did for a short time while the revelations were happening, right?
Yeah. Okay, yeah. That's
And then when the revelations were done, so let's say 10 minutes. 10 minutes after he received this revelation, he would become hot again, like normal temperature for the desert. So it wasn't a sickness or a cold, because if it was a sickness or a cold, then it would be persistent, right? You would still get the cold sweats throughout the day.
So,
but he only ever got them during revelations.
Do we know why he got them?
Yeah.
Why?
Because of the witnesses. The eyewitnesses said they saw something, miraculous. And they also saw him speaking in a way that no other Arab did. So at the time, you know that the pagan Arabs, they were poets. They were very good at poetry, right? These pagan Arabs even said that what he brought was so miraculous, they thought he was a wizard or a witch. Because they couldn't come up with something as poetic. Something as beautiful.
What was it?
It was the Quran. For instance, I could recite. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الله لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم لا تأخذه سنة ولا نوم له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض من ذا الذي يشفع عنده إلا بإذنه يعلم بين يديهم وما خلفهم ولا يحيطون بشيء من علمه إلا بما شاء وسع كرسيه السماوات والأرض ولا يهوده حفظهما وهو العلي العظيم. Amen. So this is just one recitation. Imagine the whole Quran is recited this way. The pagan Arabs were amazed because it was something they've never heard before. The composition, the way it was constructed, the actual literacy of it. Keep in mind, what did the Prophet say when the angel came to him? He was known as unlettered. He was illiterate.
Yeah.
He couldn't read or write.
Okay, so that's actually kind of cool. So like I said, did I say I usually do debate Christians?
Yeah, you did say that.
Yeah. Before I did, before I came up, I assumed you were also you were from
You thought I was
Islamic.
Oh. Did you think I was Christian?
A little bit, just a little bit, because that's kind of I'm assuming that's what my TikTok lives feed me.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then when I came on, so that
then
is
I moved
cool.
my head and it said proof Islam is not true.
Yeah, so I low-key realized it's over. I have a lot of friends. I'm from Canada, so a lot of my friends migrated to Canada, and a lot of them are Arabic. So I have picked up a couple words here and there, hafek, do please, stuff like that. So yeah, I think I get the gist of Islam, obviously, I think you already know that I'm not gonna be able to disprove
I
Islam.
respect you being honest about it.
I can I can tell you that I'm not that good, especially with a religion that I'm not as like. If I was to debate someone in Christianity, I think I'd be a little
You'd probably fare better.
yeah, because do you know
Yeah.
Christopher Hitchens or just normal like Richard Dawkins and people like that?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I'm usually more into
Maybe you should research a little bit more into Islam. You
yeah,
might actually
exactly.
find out that it's,
Yeah,
plausible.
there's someone else. He's like a newer gen. It's like Mo, someone the believer. I've read some of him. Not like I watched some of his TikToks. Mohammed the believer
I
or
would
something like.
recommend you look into Orthodox Muslim.
Okay.
I would also recommend you look into Muslim Lantern. These
Mm-hmm.
two are very
Yep.
knowledgeable brothers in Islam. Anything that I could teach you, they could teach you a million times more.
Okay.
And there's also scholars like Sheikh Asim Al-Hakim, right? He's very, very good at what he does. He gives fatwas or jurisprudence rulings. So you'll then find out about the rules of Islam and things like this.
Yeah.
When you look into these things, and also look into the Sealed Nectar, which is the book of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It's available in English. You can get a PDF file on your computer, and it'll pop up.
Yeah.
There's also the Quran, the Hadiths. If you look into these, and by the way, I would look into Sahih Hadiths, right? Sahih Muslim, Sahih Bukhari,
Yeah.
and the Quran. These are the most reliable things you could look into, right? When you look into these things, you'll find out real quick that it is the most plausible theology on the planet. There's a reason that we are the fastest growing religion in the world.
Yep.
It's not even close, We're the fastest growing, and it's due to the fact that there's actual plausible truth in Islam. Look at the fact that I am a revert. I'm a revert. I'm a student of Islam. I don't have that much knowledge, right? And
Yeah.
even with the little bit of knowledge that I do have, it's almost impossible for the average person to disprove what I'm saying. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, Christianity and Islam are like one of the they are like the two strongest religions, I'd say.
Yeah.
Or at least, yeah. Because
But would you
there's
agree
someone.
that Christianity's thought process of 3 in 1 is
Oh
unplausible?
yeah. So like a lot of people, I've debated people that don't believe in the Trinitarianism.
Unitarians. Yeah.
Yeah, I've debated some people that don't believe in that. When I do though, I don't really bring up that because I myself don't even understand it, and there's no point in debating it because it always leads to just everyone misunderstanding.
Ad hominems, pretty much.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I've gotten
Yeah.
people calling me stuff.
Well, I won't call you anything.
Yeah,
I
I
just
know.
encourage you to go read.
Thank you.
Like,
Yeah.
like the prophet was told, read, right? And I always like to preach this to people because, like you said, it's very miraculous how, it was recited and how an unlettered prophet was able to, bring this. This is what we're saying to people, like, research it. You'll find out that it's something that could be no other than God. And the atheist claim always relies on a lack of metaphysics, as I was telling you. But the
Yep.
problem with that is we know metaphysical things exist, such as when space started. You would admit the Big Bang was a thing, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay, well, the Big Bang is a metaphysical event. There is no physical proof.
Wait, what? Sorry, I didn't.
So there's not one physical proof for the Big Bang. There's only metaphysical proof. So even that is a metaphysical event, is what I'm saying. So even the atheist claim falls flat because of the fact that it's a metaphysical event that relies on metaphysics to actually happen. In order for it to happen, there had to be something that was presupposed that caused the Big Bang. And there
Yeah.
was no physical anything before the Big Bang. So there had
Yeah.
to be something metaphysical. This automatically entails that atheism can't be true.
Well, atheism doesn't mean that they don't believe in metaphysics. Atheism just means that we
Name
believe
one
that God didn't do
atheist.
it.
Name one atheist that believes in metaphysics.
Popular?
Any atheist scholar that believes in metaphysics.
I don't really know a lot of atheistic scholars.
You want to know a fun fact? None.
What?
Not one, brother.
Well, atheism just means that you don't believe that God created it.
Exactly. You know why they don't believe in God?
Why?
Because they reject metaphysics.
No.
Now my question to you...
Something could be metaphysic and it's not God.
No, actually, God is the only explanation for metaphysics. I'll explain to you why, because I have a short time. My phone's at 6%. But I'll explain to you why. Metaphysics, in general, rely on a presupposed being that is intelligent, the creator of all things, and the sustainer of all things. I'll tell you exactly why. Because if there was no creator or sustainer of all things, then the metaphysical properties cannot exist, due to the fact that metaphysics rely on something that is not actually entailing in reality. So whatever is in this conceptual reality we're in cannot be metaphysical. But whatever's outside of this conceptual reality we're in can be metaphysical. For instance, let me just bring up one thing. The Big Bang. The Big Bang is a physical event caused by a metaphysical property. The metaphysical property cannot be explained by anything other than God. Because what existed before matter? Antimatter didn't exist before matter. Matter didn't exist before matter.
My answer would be, I don't know.
Yeah, that's the problem. The atheist answer is always, I don't know. But yet, from a theist perspective, any theist, do you know what our answer is?
God.
So what's the only answer to the equation that's ever posed?
Well, it's...
Because I don't know is a lack of an answer. So what's the only conclusive answer that is posed?
Just because I say I don't know doesn't mean that it has to be God by default.
It does. So what logically entails is, if you can't come up with an answer, then the only answer being posed is the answer. For instance, if I was to say, come up with an answer for why hippopotamus are purple and not yellow. Even though you might not have an answer for why they're not yellow, we know they're not yellow, correct?
Yeah.
Why would that be?
Why hippopotamuses are not yellow?
Yeah. Why are they purple and not yellow?
Oh, wait. I thought hippopotamus were gray.
They're grayish purple, but I'll grant it to you.
Why are hippopotamus... I'm sorry, I'm kind of taking this, like, literally, maybe...
So the reason why we know that they're not yellow is because of perceptive reasoning. What can you not use with the metaphysical?
What can you not use with the metaphysical?
Perceptive reasoning. Perceptive reasoning doesn't exist for the metaphysical. This is why I never tried to appeal to perceptive reasoning when telling you about the revelations of the Prophet Muhammad, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. I appealed to what? The physical perceptive reasoning, right? Whatever was physical was perceived. Whatever was metaphysical, you have to just take the word, right? Take the word of the Quran, take the word of Allah, right? So I wasn't even posing that to you. I posed what? The physical. Right? What you could prove.
Yep.
Now, the metaphysical can only have one answer, and that is something intelligent in design, meaning something that was an intelligent designer. My phone's at 3%, by the way, so if it does disconnect, I apologize. But the point is, an intelligent designer entails that the beginning of such, Big Bang would have to have something that was intelligent enough to set the stars at a certain space apart, to set galaxies so then they wouldn't crash into each other. And even when they do crash into each other, it's two galaxies that didn't hold life. And the two galaxies that didn't hold life then create something that can create life.
We are crashing into a galaxy.
Where?
Andromeda.
We're not crashing into Andromeda actively right now.
We're, heading course.
We're heading course. But who says we're going to hit it?
scientists.
Ah, and can scientists be wrong?
Yeah, but I don't think they're wrong on this one.
But you don't think, but they can be wrong, is my point. You know who is posed to never be wrong?
Do you think they're wrong?
I think they're wrong. I'll tell you
That
why.
we're crashing into Andromeda?
Yeah, I'll tell you why. Because
Why?
they've been wrong so many times. Even recently with the giant meteor that was supposed to hit Earth, they were wrong. They were wrong
When?
about the planet that was supposed to collide with the Earth.
When?
They were wrong about many other things.
When was their planet supposed to collide with
A
Earth?
planet was supposed to collide with the Earth in 2022. Then before or after
Which
that, in
planet?
2024,
Which
I don't know,
planet?
it was some hypothetical planet. It wasn't
It
even
was
a
like
planet in the end.
it was Planet X or something.
Yeah. But then in
What?
2024, right, there was a meteor that was supposed to crash into the Earth. A giant meteor in the shape of like a spear. And guess what? That also didn't hit us. It flew right by.
I'm not.
If you want to continue this conversation, that's fine.
No,
Add me.
I know your
you
phone's also really low. So.
Yeah. Follow me. I'm at 2%. I'm going to end the live. But you can follow me. Pop back into the lives anytime you want. And we can continue this conversation
Thank
next
you.
time, inshallah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Everybody, have a blessed day. Take it easy. Assalamu alaikum. And I love you all for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the pleasure of Allah. And I hope every single one of you has a blessed day. Ameen.
I mean, assalamu alaikum.
Good night.